Okay, we got this set of 20 oil-based paint markers from Chalkola. They sent these us so we could show them to you. And they sent us a box of, I think it was 20 of the little canvases and stuff. And what I wanted to do was do a little experiment and try it a little bit before I got out the camera. But guess what? I did. And so here's what you do is you get out the ones you haven't used before, and then you just kind of shake it for about 30 seconds. Let me find a green one here. Shake it for about 30 seconds so that the paint gets mixed up and then comes down to the ends. And these have two ends. They have a fine point like that, which the paint is not down to the end yet there. And they have a fatter point like that. The paint is not down to the end yet. But you shake it for about 30 seconds, get the paint all mixed up and good in there. And we'll shake it a little bit more here. But what I want to show you is you got to be careful. Okay, so the black, you can see that kind of just splurted. That was with the fine point end. The first thing I did was the wide yellow around the outside edge here. And that did not splurt or make any kind of a mess or anything like that. And then I got out the black to do the center there, and that was the fine point end of it, and it just splurted all over the place. And then I did the fine point on the yellow to see if that was going to splurt, and it did not. It did kind of leave a little bit. That's where I started, was where that fat spot is there. So you got to be careful when you're very first getting it started. To start it, you just kind of pump the end, and the paint starts coming down towards the tip there. But then I used the red fine point, and it kind of splurted at the beginning there and stuff. And then I used the red fat point to fill in there, and that did okay and stuff. But so you got to be a little bit careful when you first get started there. And so this one here, we'll just see if we can get it started here. You just push until you start getting some ink coming down, and see how kind of you get a bigger clump there in the beginning. But then, yeah, see how that just wants to splurt a little bit there. See that part? Not so good. I don't like that part right. And that's the fine point. And the fine point seems to want to do that a little bit more than the fat point. And see, we'll do the fat point here on this side, but you can see it's got kind of little spray splatter all over the place. The black did the same thing. The red did it a little bit over there too. But we've got this green one. I did the fine point, and it did that little bit of a, not a super clean one, but you know, I'm not actually a very skilled artist either, just so you know. So but we'll see what we can get going here. I thought this was going to be a greener green, but it's kind of almost a bluish kind of a green. The cap made it look like it was going to be more of a medium green, but like, see that? This is the fat tip, and it's not doing a whole lot of the splurty thing there. Like, see, we'll go. That did fine. See, that didn't do a lot of splurty. All the splurty that's there is from the previous ones and stuff. But again, like I said, I am not artistically inclined at all, and I figured maybe I could draw a 5-petaled flower, but really not so much, because this is not my skill. But I did want to show you these paint markers. It's an oil-based paint, and the canvases, they sent us the canvases too. That's pretty cool. There's 4 different sizes of the canvases, so yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, I think that'll be fun, especially if you're doing things like painting on rocks or doing other kinds of crafts and things like that. So, and there's 20 different colors there, so yeah, good stuff. Thanks for sending those.